Hello everyone, welcome to ELI, the only place in India where you find a new founder on every episode who talk about their journey and their story of building a company. And today we have with us Rohit Sethi, who is the founder of Seclude, which is a chain of homestays and boutique resorts located at offbeat locations across India. Hi, Mr. Rohit, welcome to ELI.
Hi, Ranjan. How are you? Yeah.
I'm doing good, sir. How about you?
All is well.
All right. To start with, sir, I think you are a seasoned entrepreneur. You have built multiple ventures over the year, and you are a accountant by profession as well.
Session, yeah,
So
yeah. Chartered accountant. There's a difference
yes,
in being an accountant and a chartered accountant.
I
So
am sorry.
just to
So
no, no, no,
yeah,
just to
tell
tell you my story.
sure.
I understand you want to hear my story, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm basically a chartered accountant. I became a CA when I was 23 years old. My father was a practicing lawyer. My grandfather was also a practicing income tax lawyer. So I inherited his work and I became a CA.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very boring job, at least for me. Other people might find it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So about 15 years ago, I went to a place called Palampur, which is in Himachal. I had gone on holiday
Right.
and I saw a beautiful piece of land and I bought it and I built a house. Such a good idea, all North Indians want to have a house in the mountains. So I built this
Right.
house. And then I went to another place called Ramgarh, which is near Nainital, on top of the mountains. It was beautiful. You could see the valley. And I bought a piece of land and I built a
Mm-hmm.
house. Then I went to Goa. What a lovely place. I saw, a flat and it was a small flat and it was very nice and I bought it. Now, once I had these two, three houses, it was really good fun to go. It's good to go, take your family, take your friends. And I'm talking of the year, I think the year 2010, approximately
Mm-hmm.
around that time, 8 or 10. And
Okay.
at that time, there was no Google Maps. Also, there was no way to reach these places. So
Mm-hmm.
I would have these houses, and I didn't know what to do with them. Then I decided, okay, because there was so much money being spent on maintaining these houses every month, something or the other is going wrong. I would go to the houses for holiday, and I would only spend all my time fixing them. And
Mm-hmm.
it was not, it was nice, but not nice. I realized that this is too much money going out of my pocket. So I decided to run them as homestays. The government had
Okay.
come out with a new homestay policy. So I
Mm-hmm.
converted these two, three properties into homestays. And because all the three properties were in places where you could not reach very easily. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you must remember this is before Google Maps. So there's no
Right.
way to know where you are exactly going. There is an old tree. You take a right from the tree. There is a dog sitting there. You take a left from the dog, and that's the house.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a result of that, I called it Seclude because these places were all something that you couldn't find.
Mm-hmm.
As and when then the company started growing. I got one more house like this. Then I started meeting other people, Ranjan, who built these houses also for themselves and
Right.
really didn't know what to do with it because they were old houses and they were not being used by anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I took them over, started taking one or two of them over, and then the company slowly grew. Before you know it, I had six houses. I had about 15, 20 people working with me,
Mm-hmm.
and then seven, and then eight. And then I realized that I'm spending more time looking after Seclude than I am in my CA work.
Mm-hmm.
But I was not making money because
Okay.
running seven, eight houses from different locations was not easy. There's
Mm-hmm.
pilferage, the staff does whatever they do, guests come, they complain. It is not properly managed because for me it was only a part-time work because I was still practicing as a CA.
Mm-hmm.
So then I met my friend. His name is Rohit Sethi. We are not related. His name is similar to mine, Rohit Sethi. And I went to him for advice. I told him, Ramit, something is not okay. I've got this company. I think I should be making lots of money, but I'm not making money. In fact, I'm losing money.
Mm-hmm.
So he looked at the model and he's also a chartered accountant. He was a partner with KPMG. He was with Wipro, with Infosys. He worked a lot of industries and he had become, a consultant. He gave up all his jobs after a point of time. He said, I don't want to do the corporate life. So I went to him and he told me you need to stop building houses. You need to
Okay.
start building a company. And I told him, fine, let's do it together. So we kind of joined hands and we built a company. Now we have 20 houses, 150 rooms. We are a profitable company and we have 150 employees working with us. We are based in Kerala, Uttarakhand, Himachal, and Goa. It's been a great
Got it.
journey, but today we are in a happy place. Me and my partner Ramit are batting together, and at the age of 60, we are the youngest old startup.
Got it. Uh, let's talk about the fine aspects of this industry. I think after Airbnb came into India, this was an inflection point when a lot of people started discovering about these homestays. This was not a concept earlier prior to Airbnb. I think hotel industry was the primary thing. Anybody who would go to a place, a visiting place, they would find a hotel, stay there, and there was a very traditional model around it. How
Correct.
do you think this industry has evolved? I think especially in last 5 years, especially after COVID came, the travel culture has kind of boomed in India, and people in their spare time or a vacation time, they want to go to these secluded spaces, to places to stay within the nature, sort of get that quiet time with their family or whoever they want to visit with. So what is your commentary on that?
So, Priranjan, I mean, this has been talked about by everybody in the industry. I mean, the homestay industry has really boomed. Everybody who has a house in the mountains have decided to become a homestay owner and running it well. Um, we actually decided to go a little away from the homestay tag here. We are not a homestay company anymore because we have grown into slightly bigger spaces. That means anything over 6 rooms and less than about 20 rooms. So we are not a homestay because a homestay is just a small villa or 4 5 rooms, and we're not a big hotel which is 50 rooms plus. We are somewhere in the middle. This
Okay.
gives us the opportunity to play in a different spectrum. So if you are, say, 15 people wanting to own a corporate retreat, you can't stay in a homestay. It's too small. You can't stay in a
Mm.
hotel because it's not personal enough. So that's where we come in. So we cater to the people who have a demand from 6 to about 20 rooms and who all want, our company rests today on 3 pillars: food, design, and experiences. And like to come back to your question, uh, how has the business evolved? It's really boomed a lot here. But now the largest problem I'm seeing is that it's become a little more unorganized as a sector because there are individual homestays with various levels, various prices. Even people even rent out a room in their house on Airbnb, and we don't know what the security or the safety or the licensing or the or the features etc. are going to be. It's only reviews that you read. Some of them are really really good, but some of them are not good. So we want to play in we want to standardize our offering. So, like for
Mm-hmm.
example, if you go to a Nobroi hotel, you know what to expect, right? I mean, you know the kind of service you'll get, the price band you'll play at. So, like this, we are in the process of building a brand Seclude, where whether you come to Nahan, Kasoli, Masuri, Shimla, Palampur, wherever you come, there is a certain standard that you expect, a certain price point that you play with, and you'll be assured of great food, very, very beautiful designs, and a wonderful experience.
Got it.
So, with the advent of COVID, etc., happening, I mean, everybody's talked a lot about it. I don't want to go on about it, but basically, yeah, the industry is booming right now.
Got it.
Travel is something
Can
everybody wants to do. Yeah.
Got it. Can we spend some time in understanding who is it built for? I think every product or every solution out there in the market is built for a certain segment of the audience, like you mentioned, the
Correct.
corporates. So, who typically come to you, and how do they discover you, and what are their pain points?
So, basically, there are, in the hotel industry, there are different bands. There is a 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 rupee a night, like an Oyo or a lower brand. Then there are the high-end hotels, which are like 15,000 and above, which are uber luxury. So we come in the middle. We have what is called the affordable luxury brand. So our prices range from 7,000 rupees to about 12, 13,000 rupees a night for a room. And
Mhm.
the kind of people who come to us, our largest audience as such, or the largest sort of people, is people usually between the age of 28 to about 45, because they are the ones who can afford this kind of rooms, who don't want a 1,000, 2,000 rupee room, who don't want to stay in a hostel, or who are a little older, families with a wife, or corporate retreats, small celebrations like a birthday party or a proposal. We have a lot of people coming, who want to do something like that. We've hosted
Mhm.
a few, intimate weddings at our properties. And all our properties are iconic in their location. So, like, there's a
Mhm.
property in Kerala which is on the beach. Means you get out of your room, you walk 20 steps, and you're in the sea. There's a
Mhm.
property on the lake. You stand in your balcony, you throw a stone, you go into the lake. It's on the lake. So people come here for to connect with nature, as well as to get up in the morning and look at something beautiful, clean, and neat, and something that they don't see usually in their house. So the kind of people who come to us are the 28 to about 45 years of age. Corporates have been a big part of our journey.
Mhm. And how do they sort of discover you, and how it works from both sides, right? You have to find them and they have to find you. How do you go after
Correct.
them, and how do they search you?
So over a period of time, we've developed this loyalty system here, where if you go to one seclude, you talk about it to other people. If you're happy, our greatest marketing is basically word of mouth, and the second is obviously the OTAs and the travel agents and the Instagram and social media push. So about 50% of our occupancy is from people who call us directly on our
Mhm.
mobile, on our landlines or numbers, and call us and make a booking, or come to our website and make a direct booking from there. About 50% is through OTAs and travel agents. OTAs being Make My Trip, Airbnb, Go. So there's a large amount of traffic which comes from there too. And people find us because we are well reviewed. We are up there on in the ratings. People come and they see online and they're happy. Instagram, we have a complete marketing team which puts up beautiful social media messages. So people look at that and they want to come. They reach out to us, and it's doing all right. And that's how people find us.
Got
And we
it.
also target audience, Meta, Instagram. There are these ways to target your audience through social media and ads. So we run them.
Got it. And do you also leverage technologies? I think small hotels who use in particular, they have sort of mastered this art of, managing the property through technology. There is
Yeah.
a management system, which is like a software, and then there are IoTs in place. So that's pretty standard in the category they operate in. If you go towards the luxury side, they also have a different kind of technology, although similar.
Yeah.
How do you sort of leverage technology?
Well, we are living in technology, man. I mean, it's we use third-party softwares to do all the work for us. It's not very expensive. Like for example, there is a booking software which actually manages your booking across all the portals. So if a room is blocked at say Make My Trip, it will block the inventory at all the other places automatically. So the software running in the background.
Hmm.
Then we have 3D software. Basically, we've mapped out all the properties as virtual walkthroughs. You can go to our website and you can actually see what the property is like, what the room is like, what the dining room is looking like, what the sky is looking like. So that's it's all 3D mapped, all the properties. So you can actually do a virtual tour, as you call it. Then we have softwares which help us in accounting, finance, in operations, in management, managing our inventory. We have CCTV cameras everywhere, and we have great Wi-Fi at every property. We ensure a minimum of 50 Mbps, at least 100 to hi jata hai. And even remote places, we made sure that you have great Wi-Fi. So that helps us connect our CCTV cameras to make sure everything is running well as give guests an experience of being able to work, watch their Netflix, or do other conferences, Instagram, etc., etc. It's all working out there. And technology has been a big part of our journey.
Got it. And what about the operation aspect? I think because the category that you operate in, every property would be different. They would need a different sort of staff. Number of staff would be also different. Let's say,
Yeah,
take an example of a beach house in Kerala, like you mentioned earlier.
correct.
What is the logistic of managing that property? How many staffs would you need? And you also mentioned you have three core offerings: food, design, and experiences. So you need different category of staff to handle these sort of offerings. So how do you go about it, and what's the logistic behind it?
So what we realize over a period of time is that the more people you hire at a property, the less work gets done.
Hmm.
There has to be a right balance. If you overstaff a property during big empty times, etc., people don't work, and when you get a rush of guests, the people are not used to working, so it doesn't happen. So we
Mm-hmm.
have kind of a 1:1 ratio. So if there are 15 rooms, we'll have 15 staff. If there are 4 rooms, we'll have 4 staff. And it's a 1:1 ratio, it works well, which is divided amongst a manager, housekeeping, cook, chefs, service, and utilities like maintenance, etc., etc. So we prefer to hire a manager who's from around the vicinity, and other staff is hired by the manager or by us, also from around the vicinity. One of the things that we do, which helps us because of our brand, is that we move people around from state to state.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a small story of a boy called Himanshu. So
Sure.
Himanshu was a boy who joined us in our property in Ramgarh in village Behrakot, which is a tiny little village about an hour away from Nainital. Such tiny small village where we have 3 properties. Now Himanshu has never been out of Uttarakhand. He's never been out of his home, but he learned how to cook and he became a great cook. So we needed during season because Kerala is season is winter and Delhi season North season is summer. So we sent Himanshu in a train from Ramgarh, Uttarakhand, to Kerala, and he stayed there for 3 months during season, and he learned how to cook all that Kerala food, and he taught the Kerala cooks how to make great butter chicken.
Mm-hmm.
So we are able to send staff from one property to another, so that there is a certain amount of cross learning that happens across our properties. Like we have some managers who will go from Kerala to say to Kasoli. We have managers who will go from Nahan to Shimla.
Mm-hmm.
Even for example, if we see that there's like a big party coming at one of our properties, we'll send a couple of staff from a nearby property to them.
Right.
So rather than hire people all the time and just keep them khali, there
Mm-hmm.
has to be a certain amount of efficiency, because in the hotel industry, spending money is the easiest thing to do,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes you need to repair something, you need more people, this is not working, that is not working, something is also always going to break. In the
Mm-hmm.
mountains, in the rain, in the flood, something is going to break. So it's easy to
Right.
spend the money. It's very difficult to earn the money. So you have to play a game where you reduce your expenses and increase your revenue. We are profitable because we are able to think like that, how to cut costs and how to increase revenues.
Got it. And speaking of cost and profit, I think many people who get into this hotel industry, they do not crack the finances well, because even some of the veterans in hotel industry itself, they have exposure of the operation, the sales side, but you being a accountant, chartered accountant yourself, I think you would know better than anyone, there are other costs that come into picture. For example, cost of maintenance, cost of getting that finance. You buy a property against a loan, so there is cost for that. Then there are off seasons to factor in. There would be seasons when there will be no guests. So people
Yeah.
make a lot of assumptions and buy a property thinking that they'll make certain percentage of profit, but they eventually end up making a loss. uh, what have you
So,
observed, being a finance guy yourself, and what has been your experience around this?
we one of the things that we also do is design properties. So a guy will come to us and owner will come to us with a property which is in a bad condition, and we have our own design team who will design it, execute it, restore it, repair it, make it okay. So we work with what is called a squeezed budget. The more you squeeze a budget, the more innovation happens. Spending money, like I told you, is easy. When you are going into an asset heavy model, like if you want to buy land, then you want to build a hotel, then you want to put a swimming pool, then you want to hire good staff, and then you want to spend money on marketing, sales, on hoardings, on all of that, and hope one day that there'll be lots of guests. I mean, it's a very, very long term game. The only profit you'll have in the end is the real estate value might go up. But in our model, the way we work out, we figure out on what is called an asset light model. That means we don't buy properties. We now take them on revenue share from owners. So one of the ways that, and it's not only us, there are lots of companies who are much bigger than us and or smaller than us and doing the similar business where they take properties owned by other people and run them as their own. So that we don't have to buy properties. Although that's the crazy capital cost. As far as operations go now, Ranjan, I tell you that the most difficult thing in a business, a hotel business, is operations.
Hmm.
It requires the maximum effort
Right.
because everything has to always be working. Now,
Hmm.
if you have 20 properties, you have 20 locations, and one day they'll get some place, another day another place. Someday one toaster will break down, one light will go away, one pole will fall down, one tree will fall. All of this, or the manager will run away, or the staff will run away, or the cook will not come because his mother is not well. Endless,
Hmm.
endless. But the joy of making it all work and keeping a guest happy, that's the magic of this hotel industry. And operations is the one place where we really focus a lot.
Right. And what would you say are some of the biggest challenges that you have faced over the years? Like you mentioned, in early days, you were not making profits.
Correct.
What did you do to, change that? And what other challenges you have been facing?
So the biggest challenge that you in running a remote location is pilferage
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know what's going to happen, what is getting repaired, what is costing. So the
Right.
CCTV cameras, the mathematics of ratios, vendor management. That means who are we buying the goods from? The bills are being paid in time. What are the profit margins coming out in food? What are the repair costs? How the inventory being managed at the properties. We don't have any cash dealings at the property anymore. I mean, everything is now online, paid for in advance, food is paid for in advance. So we try to do things which will reduce pilferage of money, which will
Mhm.
reduce wasteful expenditure. And these are the biggest challenges which we have tried to overcome and have been quite successful, I must say, to maintain all our margins and our profitability well. It's basically, it's a people industry. Yeah. You have to
Mhm.
motivate your staff.
Right.
Your staff is your key. They are the ones who want to stay up in the night and look after the guests. They are the ones who want to cook 3 meals in a day. If you are able to keep them happy and motivated, and the motivation is not just money. The
Mhm.
motivation has to come from rewards, has to come from recognition, have to come from praise, have to come from also sometimes from scolding them and making them do things which are not in their comfort zone. The minute you push your staff in the correct direction, you are able to achieve anything. So it's the people who make a hospitality industry, and you have to be very good with people. Just paying more money or paying less money is not the answer ever.
Mhm. Got it. And any particular trends that you have been observing recently about this whole vacation rental industry? I think recently there was this whole Pahalgam incident and a lot of other incident happening different places of the Indian vacation places, and people are also simultaneously uh, going overcrowding places, all the hill stations, the road gets jammed and everything. There is a huge demand, there is not enough supply. What else are you observing in terms of trends right now?
So and it's just me, not just me. Every tourism professional is going to tell you that is that we are unfortunately very little support from the government.
Hmm.
We're an industry. The tourism is an industry which generates a lot of revenue in terms of
Right.
GST, in terms of employment, etc., etc. Now, everything else which is attached to the tourism industry is in the hands of the government. Whether it is roads, which will get people there, whether it is electricity, which should be flowing, whether it is water, which should be made available, whether it is labor laws, which should be conducive both to the employer and the employee. There is very little governmental support, which is our
Right.
biggest challenge. And when you say the everything is overcrowded, why is it overcrowded? It's not because there are too many people. It's because there's no infrastructure built for it. Yeah.
Hmm.
So the problem is not the people. The problem is the infrastructure.
Right.
So when they're not able to fix the infrastructure at hill towns, that's where the hassle happens. And also, a lot of it is, let me tell you, a lot of it is also Instagram news, which
Hmm.
is real maybe 10% of the time and fake 90% of the time.
Right.
So it's not that bad. You don't have to believe everything you read in Instagram and WhatsApp, is my opinion to you. I went to Nahan, I went to Kasoli only last week on a weekend. It was great. The traffic was
Hmm.
being regulated well. We reached in time, not a problem.
Got it.
And I wish the government would do more. That's it. I really, rather than just hassle us for licenses, hassle us for so many things, electricity, water. I mean, just if they help us as a tourism body, they realize the
Hmm.
value of tourism. It'll be great.
Got it. And I think about 3 months back, there was a huge debate on the tourism getting expensive in India. In fact, Goa as a particular market did not see a lot of tourists coming in. In fact, a lot of tourists went to Thailand, Sri Lanka, and other places instead of visiting Goa, just because it
Correct.
has become more expensive. So,
Correct.
what would you comment on that?
Well, when you use the word more expensive or less expensive, it's all very relative to the economy of a country. We go to Switzerland or we go to Hong Kong, like for example, a pound is 130 rupees.
Hmm.
If I buy a coffee for £5, that's 600 and some 650 rupees for a cup of coffee. Okay. If I go to Delhi cafe coffee day and pay 650 rupees for a coffee, I'm going to cry.
Hmm.
The relativity of expensive and cheap is very dependent on the economy of a country and the band in which you are playing. So
Hmm.
if you are the kind of person who wants a 2-3 thousand rupee room, then obviously a 10,000 rupees is going to hurt you.
Right.
So as far as going abroad and Goa, etc., see these are all shifting markets. People say that Goa is not doing well. I still think that people go. People say
Hmm.
that it's cheaper to go abroad. Fine, it may be cheaper to go abroad, but there are a lot of hidden costs in going abroad. Yeah. The flights and this and that. So I don't know. Cheaper and expensive is a very relative term. Depends which where you are playing. I think India
Got
is
it.
very reasonable. Yeah. Very reasonable. And the kind of service you get here, yeah, it's amazing. There's so much seva bhav. Yeah. The way you get pampered. You see any hotel in Delhi, any five-star hotel in Delhi, or even a four-star. They have beautiful grand lobbies. Service is so good. There's so many people to welcome you. Try doing this
Mhm.
in London, yeah, or in New York. There's nobody to greet you, nobody to talk to you. You just there's a WhatsApp message. You go open a door and go in. That's it.
Mhm. Got it. Finally, before we end, just one last question I have for you. Being an entrepreneur in tourism industry, I think you would be also seeing a lot of problems that are worth solving by other entrepreneurs out there. So what would be your message to other fellow entrepreneurs who are listening to you, who are thinking about innovating something in the tourism industry? What are the different problems you think are good opportunities for people to solve and make a lot of value out of it?
So my advice to anybody who wants to do this business is just follow your dream, man. Just do it. Problems are there in anything you do, yeah. Ranjan, you are getting up in the morning and going to work is a problem. Fine, getting stuck in traffic is a problem. There's problems everywhere. I would recommend every entrepreneur to to focus on what he wants to do. Keep his eye on the money. Where the money is. Nobody looks at that. Usually, an entrepreneur is so busy trying to build a dream that he forgets the money. So keep one eye on the money and the other eye on your dream.
Mm.
Use both your eyes. Don't overspend money, something that you think you cannot earn back. And second, don't stop chasing your dream. And just get up and do it. We have a very simple motto in our company, and it's called Kar Dalo. So
Okay.
when a new joinee comes to us and gives us gyan and says, sir, I think you should serve this kind of food. I think pizza will do very well in Ramgarh, or I think you should, hire these 2, 3 people or get some cooks from there. So our answer to him is great advice, boss. Just kar dalo. Go and get it done. Go and hire the guy. Go and make the pizza. Just go and do it. Don't give us advice.
Hmm.
Just kar dalo. So
Yes.
that's my message to everybody who was listening out there कि बॉस कर डालो सोचो मत अगर सोच गहरी होती है तो
Hmm.
इरादे फीके पड़ जाते हैं what it means is that the more you think of a thing the
Hmm.
less chances are you that you will end up doing it so don't think so much don't overthink
Yes, yes. I think that's so true in entrepreneurship, and a lot of entrepreneurs also say the same thing: execution, execution, and execution.
correct
Uh, Thanks for joining us, Mr. Rohit. It was
thank
a
you
pleasure to have
Priyaranjan
you on our platform, and our best wishes for the venture that you are building.
thank you so much bye
Thank you. Bye bye.